That's marvellous. Hello everyone. Oh look, I've got a sermon here. Okay, I've been asked to preach here again. For those of you who already know my preaching style, don't tell the others.
Get out pen and paper.
And I'd like to start by telling a little story. It's about a story about when Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson went on a camping trip. After a good meal and a bottle of wine, they lay down for the night and went to sleep. Some hours later, Holmes awoke and nudged his faithful friend. "Watson, look up and tell me what you see." I see millions of stars, Holmes." He wasn't drunk, he was just tired. My impressions are very simple. "And what do you deduce from this?" Watson drew breath and proceeded to answer as fully as he could. He knew Holmes was always going to outwit him somehow. So, astronomically, it tells me there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, I observe that Saturn is in Leo. Horologically,
Yes.
I deduce that the time is approximately 3:15. Theologically, I can see that God is all-powerful and that we are small and insignificant. Meteorologically, I suspect that we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. And what does it tell you? Holmes was silent for a moment and then spoke. "It tells me that some thief has stolen my tent." Holmes had a clear worldview, while Watson was confused by looking at everything else and missing the elementary. What am I going to talk about today? The sermon is called Worldview Analysis. Okay, a few people leaving already, I see. I want to talk today about our worldview. This was something that was originally discussed by Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher. And it is exactly as the word suggests, the way that each individual sees the world. I like to go to the cinema, and I like to go and see the new 3D films. This is not new technology. Do you remember the 3D glasses?
Yeah, red and green.
Yeah. And you take them off and you see just a blurry vision. You put them on and whoa, you're in 3D, baby. Yeah? Okay. Well, the worldview is a little bit like that. I've studied this branch of thought. It's mainly philosophy, but I've studied it through mostly through the website biblicaltraining.org, which I've talked about before. And the Christian philosopher Ron Nash, there he is. He doesn't have a lot of hair, but he's got a funny sort of voice. And I suspect he'd look good in this suit because he's American. Although you've all been very complimentary about my suit, so thank you very much. And yes, I do look great. So, what is a worldview? Firstly, everyone has one. And most worldviews are, like Watson's, blinded by every possible perspective but the elementary truth. It's like a pair of glasses through which you view the world. Some of those glasses can be rose-tinted, some of them can be secular-tinted, some of them can be God-tinted. Some of you need prescription glasses to see. Some of you, if you take your glasses off, then I look even prettier than I do now. As Alan has just done. Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't expect quite that response. Not at all, Tim. Thank you. Okay. I have the little voice of validation. But when you put them back on, you've got it swims back into focus. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're talking about. Your world view. Often people's worldviews are riddled with inconsistencies and illogical, self-refuting fallacies. Furthermore, no human worldview is entirely correct and accurate. Not mine, not yours, not even David's.
Oh, sure. I believe that.
There's only one fully accurate worldview. And that is the one held by
God.
Oh, look at that, straight away. Marvellous. Put the Bible down. Sorry, are you about to throw it at me? Or is the one held by God given to us in the Bible? The Bible's incredibly important, and I would be the last person.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I'd be the last person to suggest otherwise. For us to see the world as it really is, we should aim to get our worldviews as close to God's as is conceivably possible. This will make us better evangelists, which I'm sure is something that we all want to be, better Christians, and above all, better human beings.
Yeah.
All human beings should be Christians. That's the way that it is intended, and therefore to reach your height as a human being, to fulfill your potential. So, yeah, there we go. Everyone has wears glasses. A worldview consists of 5 basic elements. Firstly, your view of God. Is there a personal, transcendent, supreme being to whom we are all accountable? If so, what is this God like? If not, then what? What is that? Secondly, your view of creation. Where did the world, and indeed the universe, come from? What sustains it all? Is there a spiritual part of reality, or is it all material? It's materialistic worldview. What is humanity? Who are we? What gives us any unique value? Do we indeed have any unique value? Your view of moral order. Who makes the rules? Do some rules apply to everyone? Are some people exempt from rules? Are they just a cultural bias? What is your view of moral order? And the 5th thing is your purpose, or purpose in general. Why do we exist? Is there a reason for the world we live in? Or is it all just random chance? What's the point? What's the point? What's it all really about when you get right down to it? That's the deep philosophical part of this. What's the point? I am going to discuss each of these points in a little detail. However, if you have a limited attention span and would like to go to sleep now, you had the basis of the sermon. We're going to look at it in a little more detail as well. Each of these points is a sermon series in itself. So the aim of today is really just to whet your appetite to go and continue the thought processes yourself, and perhaps to challenge your perception enough to really assess what you believe. For some of you, this will be more comfortable than for others. Let's kick off with God. The easy question. Is there a God? Is there a God?
Yes.
Yes.
That was easy. Right, next. Hold on. This is one of the most contentious and divisive issues in the whole religious forum. England is increasingly succumbing to the Church of Atheism, with their high priest, Professor Dawkins.
Yeah.
We need to be equipped to deal with this philosophy and this worldview. First thing to note is that everyone has a God. Now I've put the picture up. For some, it's their stomach. For some, it's their chosen football team. And for some, it's their country. And for some, it's their religion. I'm not saying that any of these things are bad in themselves. Only when they become your God. It becomes idolatry. Your God is whatever is most important to you at any given moment. From this perspective, there is no such thing as an atheist. They don't exist. It's a myth. Okay? There's no such thing as an atheist, because everyone has a God. Those who claim to be so are simply saying they don't recognise any divine entity, and definitely not the same divine entity that you recognise. They don't believe in Yahweh, or they don't believe in Buddha, or they don't believe in Thor. And so often you hear that, oh, we just go one deity more than you, type argument. Okay, that's all nonsense because they're avoiding truth. These people still have their objects of worship, be it themselves, the scientific method, or good old Dawkins. They're trying to fill the God-shaped hole in their souls with any old junk. For evangelistic purposes, we need to recognise this and identify and point out the flaws in what they've put their faith in. Often, this can be done by taking their assumptions. What else have I got here? Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. This can be done by taking their assumptions to the logical extreme and applying them to themselves, what Ron Nash calls killer questions. So someone comes home and says, I believe in the scientific method. Okay, there's got no problem with the scientific method. Nothing that cannot be proved by science can be true. Okay, can you prove that hypothesis by the scientific method? Nothing can be proven. Nothing that cannot be proven by the scientific method is true. Can you prove that by the scientific method? Another one. I believe that everything is relative. There can be no absolute right or wrong. There's no absolute about everything. Everything is relative. Are you absolutely sure about that? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. These are called logically self-refuting fallacies. If you get into a conversation with someone who uses these as their worldviews, then they probably don't realise that they are an idiot. Let's use the word. They're out there. Idiots exist. Okay? And most of them don't realise that that's what they are. Once you've destroyed their argument, and they are still not willing to listen to the gospel, walk away. Don't waste your time. They're too stupid for you to waste your time on. You can pray that they reassess and come back teachable, but at that moment they're what the Bible calls fools. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. Yeah. And they're to be left alone. Do not answer the fool according to his folly. It's Proverbs. I'm not saying we shouldn't love these people. I'm not saying we shouldn't preach the gospel to them. I'm saying don't waste your time on them. Because they're not ready to hear. An atheist, there we go, now you can come back. An atheist has a stronger faith position than we do. It is a blind faith. That seems a funny thing to say in church, seeing as that's the argument they level at us. But actually, there is no God, because I have got my worldview that is in evolution and is in millions of years, etc., etc. Well, okay, here's my... Hold it up again. Hold it up again. Here's my worldview. What we see in God's world agrees with what we read in God's word. That's not blind faith. That's common sense. If what we see agrees with what the Bible says, why do we doubt the Bible? Now this point has another application for us. What is our God? Us as individuals. What is the thing to which we most desire connection? Is it really Yahweh, Jehovah, God? Or Jesus? Or is there a part of us that has an even deeper connection to Aston Villa or Birmingham City? Here's one for me. Does Cadbury's chocolate hold us in deeper thrall than the personal relationship with Jesus Christ? No, bless you for your honesty.
I do like chocolate.
By the way, I've just named you on the video for YouTube, so you will now be world famous. You'll know chocolate. Expect buckets and buckets of chocolate to come from America. If you cut us open like a stick of rock, metaphorically, don't try this at home, what would be written throughout our being? Would it be Jesus? Or would it be Elim? Or church? Or Christianity? Or simply singing songs on a Sunday? Or Bible study? Or the Bible? If it's the Bible and not Jesus, hang on, the Bible is something to point the way to Jesus. Our faith shouldn't be in the Bible, our faith should be in the person behind the Bible, right? Yeah? Or any other religious practices you choose to mention. If that's the case, we've got a problem. It's not Jesus. It's not God. Religion is a box in which to neatly package God. The only person you put in a box is a corpse. Religion is a coffin for God. I plead with you, never let religion replace your God like the Pharisees did.